Hey, it's your girl Keisha, and this is The Authentic Life. This isn't your typical podcast. It's your go-to space for real talk, bold moves, and unapologetic living. Together, we'll laugh, we'll reflect, and we will uncover what it really means to embrace your truth. So grab your favorite drink, get comfy, and let's dive into all the magic that is waiting for you on The Authentic Life. Hey, welcome back. Did y'all miss me? It's #The Authentic Life, a space where we explore what it really means to live fully, freely, and unapologetically as your true self. I'm Keisha. I'm your host. I'm your guide. I've been missing, but I still might just be your accountability partner on this journey. So whether you're tuning in from the gym, your car, or your favorite cozy corner at home, or maybe in your office because your people getting on your nerves, I'm just so glad that you decided to be here with me today. So before I dive into this episode, I do want to take a moment to thank everyone who is still embracing #The Authentic Life journey with me. I still see people downloading the episodes. I still have people reaching out to purchase merch. I released a coloring book over the holidays in 2025. So I am so appreciative of those who have taken it a step further by purchasing #The Authentic Life and still supporting, even though I've been missing in action. So thank you for showing up. For yourself, for the community, and for me. Remember, I always said this wasn't just the launch of #The Authentic Life. It was the launch of something that might just change your life. So if this is your first time joining me, welcome. I'm glad you're here. And if you've been rocking with me for a while, welcome back, family. I know I've been missing. And listen, before we get into anything today, I know. I know what y'all thinking. Girl, where you been? And all I can say is, it's been a minute. Matter of fact, it's been more than a minute. So, welcome to #It's Been a Minute Life, y'all. I haven't recorded an episode since February. And here we are in August. But life has been lifing. And not cute lifing either. Not, oh, I'm just busy lifing. I mean, life has been lifing. And here's what's funny. I had told myself I was going to have an episode out by August 1st. I had made up my mind. I said, Keisha, you know what? You haven't recorded in a while. You're going to record. You're going to get this episode done. And August 1st, #The Authentic Life is coming back. Because if you know me, one of the things I work really hard on is standing on what I say. If I say I'm going to do something, I want to do it. I want to honor those commitments that I make to myself. I want to honor the commitments that I make to everybody else. So I said August 1st because I really felt like I was going to be able to do that by August 1st. Well, August 1st came and August 1st went. And guess what? We didn't get an episode. Then we got to the second week of August and we still didn't have an episode. And normally, I think that would have bothered me real bad. Because, if you know me, I'm a doer, I'm a deliverer. I get things done. If I tell you I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. Everything in my power, I'm going to try to get that thing done. But you know what? This season is teaching me something. It's teaching me the difference between accountability and punishment. I can say, Keisha, you said August 1st and you didn't do August 1st. That's me taking accountability of not doing what I said. But I don't have to turn that around and say, see, you can't get anything done. You should have made time. You should have pushed harder, but you dropped the ball. That's punishment. And sometimes we don't need to push harder. Sometimes we need to stop and ask, why was something that mattered to me so difficult for me to make room for? Because I didn't stop recording this podcast because I stopped loving it. I love #The Authentic Life. I feel like there is so much that I could be doing with this that I am not doing. I didn't stop because I don't have anything to say. And y'all know that's not my problem. I could talk all day. I didn't stop because I don't believe in what I'm building over here. I stopped because I was tired. And I didn't realize how tired I was, actually. So let me tell y'all where I've been. I'm going to give you all a little window into what's been happening in my world. Not everything, because some things still belong to me, and that's part of living authentically too. Authenticity does not mean everybody gets access to everything. Let me say that again. Authenticity doesn't require full access. You can be real and still be private. You can be vulnerable and still have boundaries. But there is one major part of my life that I do want to share because it's important to understanding how I got here. In January, my mom was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer that had metastasized to her liver. And even saying that out loud is still a lot. Let me say this before we go any further. By the grace of God, prayer, medicine, her medical team, and her own strength, she's doing well. We've had some ups, we've had some downs, we've had some setbacks, we've had some moments where things look really good, and we've had moments where we had to regroup. But that's part of this journey. But her chemotherapy is working, and I'm incredibly grateful for that. But I don't think you fully understand how quickly life can change until something happens that forces you to understand it. One phone call, one doctor's appointment, one test result, one conversation, and suddenly life before that moment and life after that moment do not look the same. And this journey with my mom has made me think about something that, if I'm being truthful, I really didn't spend a lot of time thinking about before. And that's death. Now, don't leave me, because y'all know this is not about to turn into some doom and gloom episode. I'm going somewhere with this, but I need you to understand how I got there. Most of us know we're going to die. We know that intellectually, but we don't necessarily live like we know it. We make plans for next year. We make 5-year plans. We say, hey, I'll do that later. I'll travel when. I'll start that business when. I'll rest after. I'll tell them eventually how I feel. I'll take care of myself once things calm down. We live as if time is something we're guaranteed. And then something happens that reminds you, oh, none of us actually knows how much time we have. Through my mom's illness, I found myself having conversations about things like medical power of attorney, advance directives, DNRs, questions doctors ask when someone is hospitalized. And I'm sitting there thinking, wait a minute, I need to have this stuff too. Not because I think something is going to happen tomorrow, but because I'm realizing being alive doesn't exempt you from needing to prepare for death. And strangely enough, thinking about death has made me think more seriously about how I'm living. Because if life really isn't promised, why am I spending so much of my time being exhausted? Why am I giving everybody the best parts of me and giving myself whatever is left? Why am I waiting for things to calm down before I give myself permission to live? And why am I caring so much? That's what we're going to talk about in this episode. That's what this episode is all about. How can we live our lives every day like it's the last day of our life? Now, y'all already know how I feel about therapy. I believe in it. I believe therapy can be beneficial whether you think you have issues or not. Sometimes you just need somebody to talk to, as I like to say, that doesn't have a dog in your fight. Somebody who isn't trying to win, somebody who isn't personally invested in your decision, somebody who can listen to you and say, okay, have you considered this? So I've been seeing my therapist for probably 3 or 4 years. So she knows me. She knows my patterns. She knows how I process. She knows what certain words mean when I use them. And at the beginning of all of our sessions, she always says, Keisha, how are you doing? Is there anything you need from me today, right now? And generally, my response to her is, for the most part, I'm doing pretty good. Then I said, but right now I'm tired. And she said, okay. But it was one of those therapist okays, like, we gonna unpack that later. And so I'm like, okay. So because she knows I'm tired can mean several different things for me, she said, we gonna come back to that. And we started talking. And y'all know I talk. I like to talk. I use that time to get a lot of stuff off my chest. So I talked for almost a whole hour. What had been happening over the last month, because I meet with her monthly. Things at work, my mom, my son, my relationship, my family, my responsibilities, my business, my podcast, my body, especially my body, because I think I'm going through perimenopause because apparently my body has decided we're doing some new things over here. We got a lot, palpitations, like a whole bunch of stuff I ain't never experienced. Here we go. I done gained some weight, so I'm trying to get back in the gym, trying to take care of myself, trying to keep everything moving. I'm trying to show up. I'm trying to problem solve. I'm trying to think ahead. I'm trying to anticipate what everybody is going to need. And y'all know I do the most. I know that. I'm self-aware enough to know I do the most. But when we got towards the end of the hour, my therapist said, Keisha, I have 2 things I want to give you based off of everything y'all just heard. And this is where this episode really started. She said, you have this jar. And she told me to imagine that everybody and everything that needs something from me has a piece of paper in this jar. She said, work has a piece of paper. Your mom has a piece. Your son has a piece. Your family has a piece. Your relationship has a piece. Your business has a piece. The podcast has a piece. The coaching you do has a piece. # the authentic life has a piece. Your health has one. responsibilities have one. Everybody and everything that needs something from me has a piece of paper in this jar. And she said, you keep the jar sealed because I compartmentalize. I've said that about myself for years. I compartmentalize very well. If something happens over here, I can put it over there and go to work and handle this, and then come back and deal with that later. She said, Keisha, I don't think you like chaos. I actually think you can't stand chaos. But what I do think is that you've learned how to survive in chaos with a skill. And that one I'm like, okay, man, she might be right about this one. I don't create chaos. I can't stand chaos. But when chaos arrives, it's something in me that clicks. I know what to do. I know how to function. I know how to lead. I know how to problem solve. I know how to take whatever emotion I'm feeling, put it in that jar, put the lid back on it, and keep moving. And if I'm needed, I open the jar. I pull the right piece of paper out. I deal with it. I put it back. I close the jar. I keep moving. That works until it doesn't. Because she said, my concern is that one day that jar is going to explode. And she said, it probably won't be the biggest thing that makes it explode. It's probably going to be something small, something that normally wouldn't bother you. And suddenly, that's it. And I told her, I can absolutely believe that. Because I have been wondering that myself. What does my I can't do this anymore moment look like? And I don't want to find out. And then she said, Keisha, the second thing. Your cup isn't half empty. Your cup is empty. And then she said, but you're still trying to pour from it. I sat there for a minute, got quiet, because sometimes somebody says something you already knew, but they say it in a way that makes you finally hear it. My cup wasn't getting low. It wasn't half empty. It was empty. And I was still trying to pour. Still leading, still caregiving, still working, still coaching, still problem solving, still trying to be a good mother, a good daughter, a good friend, a good girlfriend, a good partner, a good leader, a good whatever role I'm supposed to be playing at that particular moment. Still answering, still considering, still accommodating, still thinking about everybody, still trying to make sure everybody else is okay. With an empty cup. And that brings me to something else I've been thinking about a lot lately. What happens when you're always a considerate one? Now, I'm not going to go too far down this road today because, to be honest, that's a whole nother episode on its own. It needs its own hashtag. But I think it belongs in this conversation because I think being the considerate one is part of how some of us end up with an empty cup. You know what I mean? You're always thinking, how's this going to impact them? I don't want to make them feel bad. Let me make this easier for them. I know they got a lot going on. I don't want to inconvenience anybody. You know what? I'll figure it out. I'll just adjust. I'll work around it. You know what? I'll take care of it. You know what? It's okay. And being considerate is a beautiful thing. I don't want to become somebody who doesn't consider other people's feelings, because that's not who I am and that's not the goal. But here's the question I started asking myself. At what point does being considerate of everybody else become being inconsiderate of myself? Because sometimes you giving everybody else context that you refuse to give yourself. Somebody else is tired. Oh, I understand. Somebody else needs a break. Absolutely. Take care of yourself. Somebody else can't do things. No problem. Life happens. Somebody else has something going on personally. Girl, don't worry about this. Handle your business. But when you can't do something, you need to figure it out. When you need a break, push through. When you don't have the capacity, but people are dependent on you. When you need grace, suddenly there are 50 reasons why you should have planned better. Why does everybody else get grace, but you get expectations? And I had to sit with that because consideration without boundaries can turn into over-accommodation. And over-accommodation eventually turns into resentment. That's when you start getting irritated. And let me tell y'all, I've been irritated as hell. I don't want to people with the people. I don't want to be outside. I don't want another question. I don't want to solve another problem. Sometimes I want to go somewhere, sit down, and be left the fuck alone. And I had to ask myself, Is everybody suddenly getting on my nerves? Or am I just overstimulated, overextended, and underrested? Because there's a difference. Sometimes everybody didn't suddenly become annoying. Sometimes you just need a break. And this is where hashtag the authentic life comes in. Because living hashtag the authentic life isn't about having everything figured out. It's about being willing to tell yourself the truth. And my truth right now is I cannot continue doing everything the way I've been doing it. Something has to change because living authentically means setting boundaries. It means saying no. But even more than saying no is being okay with your no. That's the part we don't talk about enough because some of us say no with no problem. Then we write a damn dissertation explaining our why. I really wish I could, but here's what's happening. No, sometimes no. That's it. No explanation, no guilt, no apology tour, no spending the next 3 days wondering whether they're mad at you because your no doesn't require everybody else's agreement to be valid. And I'm learning that if I'm going to be there for my mom, I need something left. If I'm going to be there for my son, I need something left. If I'm going to be there for my partner, I'm going to need something left. If I'm going to be there for my friends, I need something left. If I'm going to lead, I need something left. If I'm going to coach, I need something left. If I'm going to create, I need something left. And most importantly, if I'm going to be there for Keisha, there has to be something left. And here's another thing. Sometimes I'm tired isn't about sleep. Sometimes you can sleep 8 hours and still wake up tired because your body rested, but your mind didn't. Your responsibilities didn't. Your grief didn't. Your emotional load didn't. Your mental checklist didn't. Your constant anticipation of everybody else's needs didn't. That's why sometimes rest isn't just sleep. Sometimes rest is silence. Sometimes rest is not answering. Sometimes rest is somebody else making the decision. Sometimes rest is saying, I don't know, you figure it out. Sometimes rest is turning your phone over and not paying attention to it. Sometimes rest is not fixing something, not volunteering. Sometimes rest is just letting something wait until tomorrow. And sometimes rest is just letting somebody be disappointed and pissed off. Let me say that again. Sometimes rest is allowing somebody else to be disappointed because protecting them from disappointment would require you to abandon yourself. And that's the hard one for those of us who are used to being considerate. Because we don't want anybody mad. We don't want anybody disappointed. We don't want anybody thinking we're selfish or we've changed. But maybe we need to change. Maybe the version of you who was available to everybody all the times was never sustainable. Maybe the version of you who always figured it out was exhausted. Maybe the version of you who never said no was scared of what would happen if you did. Maybe the next version of you isn't less loving. Maybe she's just learning how to include yourself in the love you give everybody else. Now, y'all know we don't just come over here and talk about our problems. We're going to leave with some strategies. And I want to be clear, I'm not giving these to you because I have mastered them. I'm giving them to you because I'm practicing them too. So let's talk about what we can actually do. So strategy number 1, we're going to audit our cup, not just our calendar. We spend a lot of time managing our time. What's on my calendar? What meetings do I have? What do I have to get done? Where do I have to be? But I want you to start managing something else. Your energy. Ask yourself, what is filling me? What is draining me? Who gets the best of me? And here's the harder one that we don't ever ask ourselves. What version of me do I get after everybody else has taken their portion? Because some things only take 30 minutes, but emotionally cost you 3 days. And some things may take 2 hours, but you leave feeling energized. Pay attention to that. Your calendar doesn't just tell you where your time goes. Your energy tells you where your life goes. Strategy number 2, check your jar. I want you to think about that jar my therapist described. What's in yours? Whose name is in there? What responsibilities are you carrying? What worries? What expectations? What problems? And then I want you to ask yourself a harder question. What pieces of paper don't actually belong to me? Because some of us are carrying things simply because we are capable of carrying them. And let me tell you something, being capable doesn't make you responsible. Just because you can fix it doesn't mean you should. Just because you know the answer doesn't mean you have to answer. Just because you know you could step in doesn't mean you need to. Just because somebody asks doesn't mean you have to say yes. Some stuff needs to come out of that jar. Strategy number 3, stop confusing functioning with flourishing. You got up, you went to work, you answered emails, attended meetings, handled business, took care of everybody. You checked everything off your list. Okay, but how are you? Not did you get everything done? No, really, how are you doing? Because functioning is not the same as flourishing. And being good at survival mode doesn't mean survival mode is where you're supposed to live. I know how to survive chaos, but I don't want my ability to survive chaos to become an excuse for staying in it, and neither should you. You deserve more than making it through the day. Strategy number 4, practice consideration with boundaries. I don't want us to stop being kind or stop caring or stop considering other people. I want us to start considering ourselves. Because you want to know what? While you out here being extra considerate and considering other people, which is great and a thing that we should do, most people considering themselves before they consider you. And you always considering yourself last. So from now, we're going to just test this thing, okay? I know it may be hard for some of us. Before you automatically say yes to something or do something for somebody, sign up for something, what you need to ask yourself is, what will this yes require from me? Then ask yourself, do I really have that to give? Not, can I technically make it happen? Because if you're anything like me, you could probably figure out a way to make almost anything happen. That's not the question. The question is, do I have the capacity to give to this without harming myself in the process? And if the answer is no, then your no isn't selfish, it's honest. And honesty is part of authenticity. So we gonna practice telling people, yeah, I ain't got time for that. We ain't got to say it like that, but you know, it's a no. It's a hard no. No is a complete sentence. Be okay with that. Strategy number 5. We going into it, let your no stand. Say no, then stop talking. I'm serious. Some of us say no and then spend 15 minutes trying to make the other person feel okay about our no. You ain't got to convince nobody that your boundary is okay and reasonable. You ain't got to make everybody feel comfortable with it, because I promise you, they be okay with they no. They know be a hard no. They ain't trying to explain they no. They comfortable with they no. And they not providing supporting documentation for the no. So you don't have to exhaust yourself explaining why you exhausted. Your no just need to be no. It need to be a hard no. I can't do that. And just see what happens. Because I think a lot of times our true no's that turn into yeses is the fear of what may happen behind that no. Sometimes you need to see what's going to happen if you say no. And stop preparing for what might happen if you say no. Some of us really need to be in a space where if I tell this person, or I don't try to fix something, I don't try to create and make sure this thing warm and fuzzy and all of that, and just stand 10 toes down in it, we scared of what's going to happen on the other side of that thing. Sometimes you need to see what's going to happen on the other side of that thing, because sometimes you showing up for people in a way that they ain't showing up for you. And I'm not a tit for tat person by any stretch of the imagination, but I also think you got to take care of yourself. Strategy number 6, figure out what kind of rest you actually need. Don't automatically assume the answer is sleep. Ask yourself, do I need physical rest, mental, emotional, spiritual rest? Do I need quiet, fun, laughter, be alone? Do I need somebody else to make a decision? When you a boss, because I'm gone. You know, if y'all know me, y'all know I'm real confident in who I am and, you know, my abilities. And, you know, I feel like I'm a boss. But you want to know my biggest thing? I get tired of making decisions. I get tired of thinking for everybody. It's exhausting. And the place I'm at right now, I don't have that kind of capacity. So yes, I need other people to make decisions sometimes. So I just had to get that little extra sauce on that one. Do I need to turn my phone off? Do I need to stop being responsible for everybody for a few hours? Do I just need to worry about Keisha and not care about what's going on with everybody else? Figure out what kind of tire you're experiencing and then give yourself the kind of rest that actually addresses it, because you can't sleep your way out of every kind of exhaustion. Strategy number 7, don't let a missed deadline become an abandoned dream. This podcast was supposed to be out August 1st. It was not. I'm not going to pretend otherwise. I said August 1st. August 1st came, it went, and no podcast. But here's what I'm also not going to do. I'm not going to turn that into September 1, October 1, November 1, and then here we go February, and it's been a whole year, and I ain't done nothing. I missed the deadline. That's okay. So what do I do now? Start again. Because I think everything happens for a reason. I think the episode was delayed because I needed to have experienced all the things that I have experienced even after August 1st to even get to the place to have this and do this episode. Some things had to happen to push me into, you know what, girl, do this episode. You haven't been doing the things that you want to do or the things that you enjoy doing it. So start again. If you said that you was going to do something, do it. If it's January 1st, cool. It might be Monday. It might be your next birthday. It might be the next 6 months. Just set yourself up to do it, right? But give yourself grace. Giving yourself permission to not do things is okay. Just don't stay stuck. Grace gives you room to recover and try again. There's a difference. I can hold myself accountable and still be kind to myself, right? I ain't do what I was supposed to do, but I didn't fail, so I can move on. So here we are. Hashtag it's been a minute life. Now, before we close, I done said a lot. I hope y'all enjoyed it. It was a lot been going on. Like I said, life been lifing. But y'all know I have to give you a hashtag the Authentic Life Challenge. And this time I'm giving you 3 things. Outside of those strategies, I'm giving you three things I want you to think about doing. First, remove one thing, one obligation, one unnecessary responsibility, one thing you're doing because you're worried about disappointing somebody. One thing that is taken from your cup without giving anything back. Put that shit down. Put it down and let whatever's going to happen with it happen. Because I promise you, it's going to be okay. Because one other thing that I've learned with my mom being ill is you don't control shit. You control absolutely nothing, right? So therefore, you definitely cannot spend a lot of time worrying about shit you can't control. So put something down, remove one thing, and just let it be. Second, restart something. Remember, I love hashtag the Authentic Life. It came out of something that was important to me, and I put it on pause, but it doesn't mean it has to stay there forever. So I want you to restart one thing, something that matters to you that life pushed to the side. Don't create some elaborate 12-plan step. Don't wait for Monday. Don't wait until the first of the month. Don't wait until life calms down. Take one step. If it's sending an email, making a phone call, starting a document, going for a walk, whatever your thing is, I want you to take one step towards that thing. And third, I want you to ask yourself this question. Where am I giving other people consideration that I am refusing to give myself? Sit with that. Because your answer might tell you exactly where some of your exhaustion is coming from. Maybe you're giving everybody grace except yourself. Maybe you're giving everybody patience except yourself. Maybe you're giving everybody permission to rest except yourself. Maybe everybody else's circumstances are understandable, but somehow yours aren't. Maybe you're constantly asking, what do they need? And rarely asking, what do I need? That's something I want us to work on. And I said us intentionally because I'm working on it too. So yeah, it's been a minute, a real minute. Life has been lifing over here. And here's what I'm learning. I don't have to wait for everything to be okay before I start living again. My mom is still going through treatment. I still have responsibilities. Work is still work. Life is still life. And my body is still doing whatever 46-year-old bodies apparently decide to do at 46. My calendar didn't magically clear. Everybody didn't suddenly stop needing something from me. And I have not figured it all out. But here I am. I said August 1st. August 1st came and went, but I still showed up. And sometimes showing up is now showing, and sometimes showing up now is the win. Maybe that's the lesson in hashtag it's been a minute life. Sometimes you need a minute Sometimes you need longer than a minute. Sometimes life knocks you completely out of your rhythm. Sometimes you have to take care of people you love. You have to take care of yourself. You got to miss a deadline. You got to drop the ball. You simply just don't have it. But none of those things mean you can't come back. And I think I'm also learning something else. I can love people without abandoning myself. I can support people without carrying everything for them. I can be considerate without constantly accommodating. I can say no without being mean. I can rest without earning it first. I can give myself some grace I so freely give to everybody else. And I can recognize when I survive instead of living. I can have an empty cup and recognize that it's empty. And instead of continuing to tilt the cup, hoping something magically comes out, I can put that damn cup down and refill it. Because I matter too. And so do you. And maybe that's really what I want you to take from this episode. Not that you need to stop caring, not that you need to stop showing up, not that you need to become selfish, but that you have to become one of the people you consider. You have to be the most important person that you consider. That you need to put your name you need to put your own name in the equation that you have for everybody else. When you're making the decision, consider yourself. When you're looking at the calendar, consider yourself. When somebody asks something from you, consider yourself. When everybody needs something, consider yourself. When deciding whether or not you got the capacity to do what everybody needs, consider yourself, because you get to be considered too. Thank you for giving me grace while life has been lifing. Thank you for continuing to listen. Thank you for still being here. Thank you for continuing to grow with me. And thank you for allowing me to show up as the real version of me, not the polished version that a lot of people know. Not the perfectly put together version, not the version that has all the questions, just me figuring some things out right alongside you. Because that's what hashtag The Authentic Life has always been about. If something in today's episode spoke to you, please share it with somebody, especially that person you know who is always pouring, always showing up, always fixing, caring, always considering everybody else. It may need somebody to remind them you get to be considered too. And before we go, I want you to remember a few things. A missed deadline does not have to become an abandoned dream. Your no does not require an explanation. Being capable of carrying something does not mean it belongs to you. Functioning is not the same thing as flourishing. Giving yourself grace doesn't mean giving yourself permission to stay stuck. And an empty cup is not a challenge to pour harder. Sometimes it's simply a sign that it's time to refill. So until next time, keep learning, keep growing, keep giving grace, keep showing up for yourself, keep choosing yourself. And as always, keep living hashtag The Authentic Life. I'll talk to you next time. Well, folks, the episode has come to an end. Thank you for hanging out with me on The Authentic Life. If you love today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, because subscribing is just like an instant invite to more fun, to more inspiration, and to more authentic vibes. I could also use a review. So leave a review or share this with someone that you feel needs a little inspiration. But whatever you do, let's spread the joy of the authentic life. Remember this, your authentic self is your greatest gift to the world, and no one should ever make you feel like you aren't. Until next time, stay true, stay bold, and keep living the authentic life. Peace, love, and blessings from your girl, Keisha.